easier to keep her head down. She looks at you strange when you say this hoe. That's how rebellions work, don't you know? Rebel girl, rebel girl, they know you.
F105. That's who's performing Rebel Girl as per the usual here on our Monday live stream. Hi everyone, this is James Razile, joined with as always the passable Andrew Fantasia, and today is a very special guest on the live show. Brock's here.
All right, top five. So top five Ewoks. I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Wicked. I'm
Yes.
gonna go Lower Gray. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Here I am.
Here we go. Jericho is on saying hello. Mr. Rez says hi. Mike Freeman, we doing this? And Miles is, who is that? I don't know who you're referring to in the who is, but yo is what I'll write yub nub. Yub nub.
Yo's all around. Yo's all around.
Yo's for everyone. Check out what my cousins got me for my birthday. Do you see that right there?
Oh, what?
It has a C3PO mug. This is Laura and Kenny and Antonio. Brock, you know them with great fondness. They got me the C3PO. They told me
like ceramic.
it
or
is
metal?
ceramic. It is from HomeSense. I could tell they ripped off the price, but the HomeSense is still up. It is definitely ceramic, but it is nice. I gotta wash it out and drink out of it, so that is. I'm trying to get a nice glow off of C3PO. So
That is outstanding.
it was pretty awesome. It also came accompanied with a bottle of wine, which I will be drinking out of this mug as classy as the classiest way I can.
'Cause you're classy.
Heidi says hi. Miles wants to know who the girl in the picture is. That's our thumbnail. We're gonna get to that in a second, Miles. Jabox, hi. And Mr. S says hi, Mug. Well, thank you very, very much. Also, Brock, did you see my shirt?
Yeah, I have the same one. Copier.
Did I copy or did your roommate just copy? We lost Andrew's picture. I don't know why. So anybody?
I still see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's the second time, Andrew. Get
Oh,
your
I really
get
did
your
not look.
Brock. Quickly, let's get into Andrew. You can participate as well. We just can't see you. Day one of Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Galaxy Edge, was the first day that the park opened without reservations, and it was a 3-hour wait for the Millennium Falcon, and it reached capacity within 1 hour. Brock, this surprised you in no way whatsoever.
No, you fool! It's the first day.
Yeah, but Brock, if you were in Anaheim, would you have, and you didn't get like the reserve passes, would you have gone today?
Look, I really want to go to this park. I want to go to Disneyland. Period. I haven't been there before, but I don't want to wait in lines. Disney is busy enough as it is. I haven't experienced California. I've experienced Orlando. Like, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Maybe. But it's always changing, right? It's ever changing. So also, guys, hit the like button and subscribe button and tell all of your friends about the Rebel Scum podcast. Hi.
Yes.
Like
And your enemies. Tell everybody.
And your enemies. And your enemies. Also, check us out, Digital Charcuterie Podcast Network on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, somewhere else. Just look for it. You get the Rebel Scum podcast there. You get the Outlander Club, a Rebel Scum podcast there, and you get Andrew Fantasia's coming up. That's So Wizard podcast where he talks about wizard and no, you don't actually. Oh, do you? Do you talk about spells? Wizard? Do you go that
That's
far?
right. It's literally just about Harry Potter facts and stats of the Washington Wizards NBA team. That is literally it. For an hour and a half.
Yeah, you were shocked it's not the Washington Bullets. Mike Freeman says he will pay for all of us to go to Galaxy's Edge. So this live stream has ended. We will be hitting a plane right now. Mr. Freeman, you can send your money care of Andrew Fantasia at Hogwarts. Big news in Star Wars. But before we get into the big news and who that woman in our opening picture was, we have a Legends Row. Andrew, you want to talk a little bit about Legends Row?
Legends Row. All right. So if you've been following along, you know what Legends Row is. Good for you. If you haven't been following along, pay attention. We will be putting this on the exam. Legends Row is our little fun way of celebrating the characters in Star Wars that don't really get all that love all that much. You know, people like Darth Vader, like Yoda, they like to hog all the spotlight for themselves. But other people deserve some loving too. So every time we do Legends Row, we give you 5 nominees. Sorry, not 5. Counting is hard.
Twitter won't let us
nominees to choose between. We'll be doing a poll that's always up on Twitter. And the way the poll works is you pick who you think deserves a spot in the Rebel Scum podcast Legends Row. And once we get a big enough budget, we are going to build an actual temple like the Greeks of old, have bronzed statues of everybody you pick. It's going to be glorious.
That's absolutely true.
And this week...
Can you just give a brief description of who each person you have in this week's poll is? For those who don't know. They won't be voting for those people, but just in case.
Brief description of the 4 people we got today? No problem. So the theme for today's Legends Row, I figured we should go with leaders of the prequels. Yeah. Because the prequel era, you met a lot of diplomatic folks, a lot of leaders. So I have 4 nominees here that I'd like you to consider. Number 1 would be Mr. Boss Nass, leader of the Gungans. He's got big jowls. He's voiced by Brian Blessed, and he does this a lot. He goes, "Roar." He's that kind of guy. He was also in Flash Gordon. Fun fact. Not Boss Nass, Brian Blessed. If Boss Nass was in Flash Gordon, that'd be a whole different story. Next up, we have Geonosian Archduke Poggle the Lesser. That's kind of a mouthful, but Poggle the Lesser is the ruler of I think he's the ruler of Geonosis. He's the Archduke of Geonosis anyway. I don't know duchies. I don't know what's above an Archduke. Is an Archduke more than a regular Duke? Guys, I don't know. I don't know my duchies. I'm gonna actually send a wire to Harry and Meghan. I'm on good terms with them. They'll let me. They'll set that straight for me.
I had a duchy for breakfast. Just saying. You
had what for breakfast?
A duchy. It's a donut with raisins in it with sugar glaze icing on top. Just saying.
Oh boy, I'm glad I'm on this podcast.
It was delicious, Brock. You'd be jealous.
So that is number 2 is Poggle the Lesser. There. Our third, I was going to say contestant, not a game show, Andrew. Our third nominee here is Tarful. Tarful is the Wookiee from Revenge of the Sith who was fighting alongside Chewbacca and Yoda. He's got kind of like a Predator dreadlock look going on. Tarful's pretty cool. He jumps on a tank at one point, I think, and he slaps it with a grenade, or maybe that's another Wookiee. But Tarful's pretty cool regardless. He's cooler than the other Wookiee in Solo. I'll tell you that right now.
What? And I put up
the fourth
Tarful pop for you.
Yeah. The 4th nominee is probably the most infamous of the prequel leaders, Mr. Viceroy Newt Gunray. As you know, his blockade is perfectly legal, and he would be happy to accept the ambassadors, among other things that he would be happy to do, which include but are not limited to extortion, kidnapping, blackmail, and straight-up murder. Newt Gunray is a pretty cool dude, and he's got these bug eyes, and he wears these fancy hats, and he survived for pretty much all the trilogy until Darth Vader finally cut him down.
Finally.
You don't really expect that from him. He seems like the kind of guy who's one and done, but not. Newt Gunray he's in it for the long haul. So those are our 4 nominees. What do you think? Let us know who deserves a spot in Legends Row. Which prequel leader led the best?
Well, I'm trying to put the poll up, but it's only letting me put up minutes. Here we go. 6 days. 6 days.
6 minutes. Vote now while you have a chance.
Brock, who would you pick for this week's Legend Row?
Ooh. There's a lot of good choices there. I mean, everyone knows I love Chewbacca, so I'm always going to go Tarvals. But, Newt Gunray, like, maybe not him specifically, but his, like, race of Nemoidians? Is that what he was? Yeah. Nemoidian? They bring them up. I think they have them in Poe Dameron, the comic book, and, like, they're, like, bankers. I mean, we knew that already, but, like, they go to their planet, and they're like, here, put this in a vault, and I'm like, oh, this is great, and it just visually they look appealing, right? Because their eyes, when you really zoom in, it's like, wow, there's so many details. But then, yeah, Boss Nass, like they should have put him in more things. Like, I can't decide.
I'm going with Boss Nass.
Okay, Joe.
No explanation given. I already voted on Twitter. Get on Twitter, vote for the Legends Row poll, and they can join the likes of Jin Urso and Ben Quadaneros. And Captain Kennedy. Andrew, you failed me for the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy,
And this is the second time that a Gungan has been nominated for Legends Row.
Ooh.
We love the prequels up in here. Okay.
eventually, none of them are going to get in, and we're just going to do a top 4 Gungans just to get one on Legends Row. We're like, well, who's your favorite Gungan? And they're all going to get 0 votes. And we're like, well, all 4 of them get in by default. That's how we roll. So it's going to have a lot of fun. That's Legends Roll. Go to Twitter and vote for them over there. That's up for 6 days. We'll talk about that on next week's Flying Casual live show. Brock's here today. Brock, some big news in Star Wars land showed up once again. You're still learning about this news. You're still growing into this, correct?
Yeah.
Andrew, how about you? Do you know about this news?
Are we talking about Miss Regwan?
We totally are.
Ooh, we totally are. Yes, yeah. I've heard about this for. I guess I heard it on Thursday. I think it was Jedi Council or something that I heard it on, and I'm liking this, man. What I like about it is she, just from what the quick picture I saw, she looks young, so that means many years of her working on this. That means we got her for the long haul. Hopefully she does a good job, because that means a good job for the long haul. So I like that.
So IMDb, I have to go on here because obviously she was the wrong choice. I think we can all agree on that. Based on nothing.
Should have been Michael Bay.
Yeah.
And Bruckheimer.
Sure. No.
What are they thinking?
So anyway, she was an actress in the Lego Star Wars Force Awakens game. So.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty awesome, actually. So right away, I'm like, okay, well, give her any job you want. So she's known for her producing credits are, Monster Challenge. All right. A Hapless Patent. Okay, this sounds great. So this is a short film. It's a short comedy called Monster Challenge. Look at the poster. Actually looks like my original Cape Side Bay cover out. I'm not even joking. It's red instead of blue. A hapless Patton Oswalt finds himself catapulted into an outrageous series of challenges in an infectiously silly tribute to the eccentricities of Japanese game shows and monster films. And it stars Patton Oswalt, Ben Schwartz, and I don't know any. Oh, that guy from American Werewolf and the one that came out recently, and Dermot Mulroney's in it. Okay. Michael Giacchino directed it.
Cool.
Directed it.
Yeah, he directed it. Also wrote it. He's very quirky. So she also produced the Star Wars movie, Star Trek Into.
Did J.J. Abrams compose the music for it?
That would be awesome. So anyway, she did The Force Awakens. That's episode 9. Episode 9 on IMDb has the Force Awakens poster because that's fitting.
Mm-hmm.
So she's produced a bunch of J.J. Abrams movies of recent. So for me, what I think is this is good news for Star Wars, because what was getting me was all this talk of they're planning the next 10 years. They're planning the next 10 years. And Brock, you and I talked about this on a podcast recently. Like, what is the next 10 years? Is it just like a bunch of movies, or are they just going to throw darts at the wall and see what sticks? This tells me that there's going to be a plan, and there's going to be one singular person who will have a team around them that will oversee this plan.
Yeah, cool. What is her exact role? Because this story is like, I could not find it.
That's because it's from Thursday.
Cool. Then it's not news anymore.
Oh no, I just hit a thing. Okay, hold on.
What is her name?
Michelle Ridgwan.
Sorry, say again.
Michelle Rejwan.
Michelle
or
Rejwan.
Rewan. Somebody correct me on this.
Oh.
Wait.
I'm glad we did our research.
Mike Freeman. Think that guy on Collider who cried about Galaxy's Edge talked about it. Here's the Variety article. This is the Variety one. This is like the article. Okay, according to the show Entourage, Variety is what you read. Lucasfilm has hired Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker producer Michelle Rewan as Senior Vice President of Live Action Development and Production. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy made the announcement on Monday. Rewan was a co-producer on 2015 Star Wars: The Force Awakens, co-producer on J.J. Abrams' Star Trek Into Darkness, and associate producer on Super 8. Rewan will oversee a new slate of feature films and episodic series for Lucasfilm and Disney Plus, continue to produce with Kennedy on the Star Wars franchise. And then there's a bunch of quotes. So basically, she is what people have been saying, the quote-unquote Kevin Feige of Star Wars.
Cool. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. We could certainly use that.
Well, that's the thing. So a lot of people now are up. A lot of the conversations now is she qualified? And I think the question that needs to be asked is, are any of us qualified to ask if she is qualified? I think that really is like, it's me in like a spare bedroom with a dresser here going to question what $1 billion company decides to hire. That's how I feel. Let's give her the chance to succeed or fail. And for now, I'm going to drink out of my 3PO mug.
I mean, she's worked on, if you just look at the movies alone, they're all like passion projects. Like, I mean, J.J. Abrams, Star Wars, maybe they're not passion. I mean, J.J. loves Star Wars, and they always talking about, I was like, I'm doing this right. She worked on Star Trek. That was a big deal. And Super 8, that's a love letter to Steven Spielberg. Like, she understands working on projects where, oh gosh, did I just knock my microphone? Anyways, she works on projects that, they're not like, we're not making money. We're making, maybe not art is the best term, but like we're making something we care about. So to have that person in charge of some facet of Star Wars, that's got to be a good thing. What's the worst that could happen?
You open up a Pandora's box, Brock. I think she's gonna do fine. She clearly loves, like Brock's saying, she works on things that she loves. She pours love into projects that she loves, and I don't think any of these people who are working on these new Star Wars movies, I don't think they bother coming forward and signing up unless they're doing so out of love. As far as we know, we don't know who Disney has talked to, but from what I've heard, I haven't heard of any news in the past where it's been like so-and-so approached Disney because they thought it would be financially solvent to work on a Star Wars picture. Like everybody's just like, please let me, make a movie with lightsabers in it. So I think Michelle Rewan falls into that category. She's just one of those people who she loves what she's doing.
I gotta bring up what Miles says here. Miles says he's kind of amazed it took Lucasfilm this long to copy the system from Marvel. Feige is so vital to Marvel. Do you think Kathleen did not want to hand away any power early on? I actually think that, and I've said this before, I think Star Wars and the MCU are two very, very different things, and I think they should be treated very differently. And I think what happened was they decided to do this one thing and just tell Star Wars movies. And I think because they were ending, the thing with Feige is he came in at the beginning. He's like, well, he just started something from scratch. It's like, well, Iron Man. Oh, okay, let's throw in this scene where the Avengers show. Okay, yeah. Whereas it was episode 7 and they were continuing from episode 6. So I think it was a different beast from the get-go. And I think now that they've wrapped that baggage, that was baggage for them, right? They wrapped that up. They got rid of Han. They got rid of Luke. They're going to get rid of Leia. They have their new characters now. So now is the time for them to kind of regroup and say, what is the game plan going forward? Do we focus on Rey? There's been rumors now that Rey will appear in the new something coming up, but who cares? But the fact is, will they focus on Rey? Are they going to focus on Finn? Is it going to be Old Republic? Is it going to be New Republic? Is it going to be in the same time frame as the original trilogy, but just in a separate part of the galaxy? Like, now is their time to figure out what Star Wars, not what Star Wars is, but what Star Wars is about to be.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm. And I think they needed that time. They needed these 5 movies. Call it their phase 1 if you want. But they sort of needed to do that the way they've done it to understand what they need to do going forward. Because I think if they had jumped in right away in like 2012 and been like, we're gonna get a Feige, and that person is gonna handle the Star Wars stuff just like Feige handles Marvel. If you do that before knowing if you need that or not, you run the risk of turning into Universal Dark Universe, where it's like, yeah, let's make a shared cinematic thing that nobody gives a damn about. But I think now that they got 5 movies under their belt, they've done stuff that worked, stuff that didn't work, and they've listened to feedback. And I think now they realize, yes, we have a lot of great ideas, we have a lot of talented people working behind the scenes, but what we're missing is connectivity. We have a bit of it, but we can do it better. So now that we know that that's one of our weak links, now let's get a Feige in there. I think that's perfect. Yeah, do it like this.
One of the big differences too between Marvel and Star Wars right now is in 2012, they said all those EU books that you've been reading are not canon, but everything you read in comics, novels, video games, anything is going to be canon. Marvel was like, we're making movies, they're making comics, they're making TV shows, we don't care, this is what we're doing. And then, obviously in Endgame there were little sprinkles of the TV show that they kind of put in for fans. I didn't get them, and I didn't care. But people were like, oh, that's cool, that person's from that show or that show. But they didn't care about, they didn't have to worry about what happened in any of those other aspects of it. Whereas Star Wars, if they do something in a movie, it's like, well, that's going to affect this book now, that's going to affect that comic, what do we do about this? And so they've kind of their hands are tied a little bit by that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's always a way to get around things if something doesn't work or what have you. Like, yeah, like you can't compare Marvel to Star Wars because Star Wars is trying to stay canonical, while Marvel will revamp, reboot, retcon their titles each year. I mean, look at the X-Men. I know that's not Marvel, but the X-Men movie series, all of them, not just the newer ones. Like they did Days of Future Past, and they're like, we changed the past, so none of that stuff counts anymore. And this is why you can have Cyclops and Jean Grey, and she's a Phoenix now instead of later. So it's like, there's always a way around it. Marvel does it really, really well. I mean, I still read comics, but yeah, like going back to this moniker of she's the Feige of Star Wars. I mean, that's great. I mean, I think that's a compliment. But like, Feige became Feige because he created something. She hasn't done anything. I think she might do a good job, but like, it seems weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the comparison. I think at one point we said Christine Kennedy or am I saying that? Kathleen Kennedy? That didn't sound right. Kathleen Kennedy is the Feige of Lucasfilm.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I don't know, but I mean, we all know these new projects. How I'll have someone else at the helm. It's nice that there's a coordination going on, but like,
you know the one thing that and I don't know how you guys feel, but from the prequels, you remember the prequels because there were so many of the behind the scenes features on the DVDs, and they did YouTube videos, which I don't think were YouTube at the time. They were on like their websites, which have now been posted on YouTube, which is kind of cool. But you got to see the inner workings of the prequels, and it was George Lucas and Rick McCallum. And right now, we haven't really gotten that when you think about it. There's been Kathleen Kennedy. But the thing with Kathleen Kennedy is, yeah, sure, she's the George Lucas now. But she's also like, well, I'm trying to get this Indiana Jones thing off the ground. I'm trying to get this. Like, she's like, Lucas was like, I'm doing the prequels. And then we'll worry about everything. Like, that was it. She has to worry about this whole thing that is now under Disney. So she has to answer to Bob Iger, and Bob Iger's like, so when's that Indiana Jones 5 coming? Because the clock's ticking on Harrison Ford and his action sequences. So I think it's good that they have one person now that they can say, this is your baby. Kathleen Kennedy is George Lucas, and you are George Lucas B. George A, George B. And you're both here. Make some Star Wars movies. The other half, the other half of that is, like, let them do their jobs and let us go in the theater and just enjoy a movie. Like, who cares who produces a movie? If they get the numbers right and the locations are good and the casting is good and the movie turns out great, just make me happy in the theater. I don't care who's producing or directing or doing anything anymore. I just want to sit there with a medium popcorn, no butter. It's already got butter flavoring, Brock. no butter. And I want to sit in the theater with my 3D glasses that you'll complain about. I'm going to walk out of the theater and be like, I want to watch that again.
I prefer tater tots now.
You do. You do. What movie did we see and you were like, how? You're like, I already got the tater tots.
I got the tater tots. I don't know.
It was probably Solo. I think that was the last movie I've seen.
Probably, yeah.
You got the tots at the movie theater? They sold them?
Yeah, man. You ever gone to Cineplex? They have the sandwich section. They have tots there.
Wow.
Yeah,
man. I'm lagging behind.
Yeah. You can get popcorn delivered to your house now. Welcome to the Welcome to the Rock.
I'm just looking at the comments right now. I think it's good. I think this is good news for us going forward because it gives them, because they just are like, we have this Knights of Old Republic script. Congratulations, you have a script. Like, what are you doing with that script, and how does it affect that script or that script? So what's going on? And like I said, Kathleen Kennedy is probably just really busy. This is somebody who can come in there, and because we always complain, everybody complains about the story group, like, well, what don't they do? It's like, well, I think they do more than you think they do, but it's probably not the easiest job in the world to figure out where everyone is in this fake galaxy at every given moment. There's going to be continuity issues regardless. Like you said, Brock, the X-Men movies, as flawless as they are, have continuity issues.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to worry about continuity, just remember that Pablo Hidalgo noticed something on a lightsaber in Empire Strikes Back.
Amazing.
And nobody's ever really talked about that before. I don't know.
New York is canon now.
New York is canon. Canon? Canon. New York is canon. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because, like, as much as we're not going to get Disney Plus immediately in Canada, I am psyched for that to come here.
But have you heard that officially?
It's like to be determined.
But I've heard a few times that Canada is lumped into the North American,
right.
the U.S. Release. So please.
I
can't wait. I can't wait longer to watch The Mandalorian. I can't. Not even The Mandalorian. I cannot wait to watch Lady and the Tramp. Is it live action or are they going to be I don't get it. Are they going to be humans or are they going to be dogs? What is it about? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's about Tessa Thompson. She gets turned into a dog.
Is she
like
in it?
Freaky Friday, but with a dog.
I'd watch that.
And then there's like the Frank Sinatra song comes on. That's why the lady is a tramp. And I'm like, oh, I get it now.
How does this turn into a Lady and the Tramp podcast? Because Lady and the Tramp is awesome. No, Disney Plus, though, I've heard that it's going to be coming here the same time as the U.S., so I'm going to hold it to that. If not, send us what are the QR codes, VIP, VIN numbers, whatever they are. Send us those so we can log in on your behalf to Disney Plus. So I can watch The Mandalorian and all of the Star Wars movies in one. I'm going to take November 13 off and just watch everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And then a week later, you know what comes out? Shenmue 3. So you will not see me
until they push it back again.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is The Mandalorian? Why isn't the... Oh, here's a question for you, Andrew. See if you can answer this one. Then Brock will go to you. But why... Here's from Mike Freeman, who is paying for us to go to Galaxy's Edge. Thanks again, Mike. Why isn't The Mandalorian a Boba Fett show?
He's dead.
Yeah, but I think in Legends they brought him back. So...
But that's Legends.
I think that's the thing. If you make him a separate character, then you can do whatever you want with him and give him whatever backstory you want. That's not to say that maybe there'll be a twist and he actually is Boba Fett, but I don't think that'll be the case. But if you, and also as Mr. Rest says, Fett isn't Mandalorian anymore. That's just how it is. So Fett and Jango aren't. Mm-hmm. I think they wanted to do something with Boba Fett. Josh Trank kind of came in. Something happened there. We'll probably find out in 50 years what happened. So now they're like, well, we'll keep Boba Fett. I think Boba Fett's on a back burner somewhere, and that's why this isn't necessarily Boba Fett and Mandalorian. And Jon Favreau gets to play around with the lore a little bit more, and they get to have fun with this new character that nobody knows what is to come.
I'm still holding to my theory that
Yeah, and
Nick Nolte is a grizzled old Boba Fett that somehow clawed his way out of the Sarlacc. Sorry, Andrew, I stepped all over.
Nick Nolte's actually Tarful, but he shaved little pieces of his body.
He takes out like a bandolier. It's like,
Is Nick Nolte? Is Nick Nolte in the show, or is he just gonna voice an Ugnaught?
Ooh.
They didn't even write his dialogue in the Wookiee language. They just told Nick Nolte to speak on camera, and they said it like they'll just add something in post, and he'll be like, yeah. If it was, to answer the question, if it was Boba Fett, then I think the title should be in air quotes, the Mandalorian, and it's not. I like that it's somebody new. I like that we don't know his name yet. I think that's kind of cool. But if you're a Fett fan and you're itching for more of him, don't forget, Tamora Morrison, he's not a super busy man. You know, he's not in demand. He's not the hotness. It's not like you can't nail him down. Disney's keeping him in the family. He's Moana's dad, so he's around. He's orbiting Disney. If they ever want to bring Boba back on screen, he's there, and I'm sure he's got, he's not going to be like, you know what, I don't feel like it, I'm better than that now. I'm sure he'll be down to play Boba Fett. So don't worry, there's a very big chance you'll see him again.
Yeah, and as everyone's commenting on this, that Mike Freeman says that the Sarlacc spit him out, which I think is from that Legends book. Rural Fanboy Boy says dead. And Heidi says, Boba Fett is a clone. It's not that hard to bring him back. Which is the most fair point that somebody has ever made. Sheevy Fett.
I would love if Tamora Morrison came back. Like, that'd be so good. Even if it's just one episode and he's just like, hello, I'm a clone. Goodbye.
Yeah, it would be, but who would you rather have, him or Daniel Logan?
Ooh, I would either one. I feel you could do more with Tamora Morrison because Daniel Logan was just like the young Boba Fett, and I guess he's kind of technically in Clone Wars, the show. But like if he were just to walk by, I'd be like, oh, he'd be like the Stan Lee of the Mandalorian, be like, oh, there he is.
It's true.
But yeah, if he wants to act, like put him in, give him a chance. Who cares?
All right, let's go into a topic that came up at the very end of last week's show. Guys, give us a like and a subscribe. Yeah. That's me. That's a promotion from me. Red Wolf jumped in right at the end of the show. Andrew and I were wrapping up, and Red Wolf busted through the door like, I'm here. We did a live
confetti out of a gun, and I asked a kick-ass question.
What was it?
So it was we did Never Tell Me the Odds live because we couldn't do the live show on Monday. So we did a nice little Never Tell Me the Odds. And then at the very end, we were trying to wrap it up. And Red Wolf, like I said, busted through the door and then said, do you remember the odd, Andrew?
No. And I'll probably not do it justice if I try to pull it from memory.
Same here. So I'm going to, I have the the follow-up that Red Wolf wrote on the comments after. But so basically it was just like, what if in the Rise of Skywalker, it seems like the Resistance is down and out. And the Knights of Ren and the First Order, whatever, they have their number and everything is coming to a head, and everything kind of, I think it was like everything went. Maybe I made that part up, but everything was kind of happening, and then all you heard was Yoda's voice saying, "Ready you are." That's my Yoda, Brock. I'm very good at it. Mm-hmm. Ready you are. And then Luke ignites his green lightsaber or blue, whatever, purple, who cares, and goes to town against Sheevy. And they just duke it out with the lightsabers. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Then the follow-up to that, because apparently there's a limit on the super chat. And then it says, so there was typing limits. So to elaborate, Luke comes back once more to save everyone long enough for them to complete the mission, disappearing on his own, becoming one with the Force entirely. Not a full resurrection, but more of a, okay, I'm using the last of my energy to come back once more physically to save you all. Otherwise, it would dilute the whole Force Ghost thing. So that's what Red Wolf says. So, Brock, what do you make of that?
I don't know.
Don't worry
I'm
about
all for it, 'cause
realistically.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But like, it also just screams like video game. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like you're playing Battlefront, and all of a sudden it's Darth Maul versus that Sith Twi'lek. I forget Darth whatever, or you know what I mean? Or it's like it's three Ewoks standing on top of each other and they fight Chewbacca. Like they're like, wow, that's crazy. But then you're like, visually it's appealing, but story wise, I don't know. But I only base that on like I don't know where you get to that point. Do I want Luke back as a Force ghost, or somehow getting to some new level of the Force where he can come back to life? Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, if you're a fan of Rebel Scum podcast, you'll know that I have no care for if Palpatine is a big part of the movie or a small part of the movie. So like the second you throw Palpatine at me, I'm like, ugh. He's a plot device. And it's like, oh no, he's very important in the prequels. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So I don't know. Visually though, that'd be awesome. It's like, ooh.
What if it's done in this way, Brock? What if it's done like in the sense where the good guys are fighting the bad guys, and the bad guys happen to have Spirit Palpatine on their side. He's like a dark side ghost, whatever, and he is turning the tide. He is making it very hard for the good guys to come out of this unscathed. And we get a moment kind of like in Endgame with the whole Cap on your left. We get that kind of moment. Yeah. But it's the Force ghosts of the good guys who have all died in the past. Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke, Anakin, whatever. And they sort of come out in the moment like that to help the heroes. And it's ghost on ghost versus physical on physical. And they basically even the odds.
I can get behind that. I feel like James and I talked about that once on Rebel Scum podcast. So like, it's like, wouldn't it be very cool if, like, the final battle is, like, the fallen Jedi, the fallen Sith? Well, there's not a lot of fallen Sith, I suppose. But, yeah, like, the whole point of, I can't remember how we got on. It's like, this is how you drop in Anakin and Yoda and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. I'm like, oh, that'd be sweet. But then it just sounds like the end of Return of the King.
That's the thing. Like, when does it stop being Star Wars and starts being Return of the King or Endgame or any of those type of things? Like, Star Wars we all kind of, I think, selfishly want something like that in Star Wars, but Star Wars has never been about that. That's the thing. Like, we all kind of, and I think Star Wars is like that because
I thought that was just on my end, and I was lagging out, so I was pretending to hear everything that James was saying.
Can you see
it? He's popped. There we go. Hi, James.
My internet just stopped, so there you go. I woke up today and the good old rabbit ate the cord, so I had to get a backup one, and because I had it all barricaded off, and and Aaron said this is ugly and moved everything and doesn't look after the rabbit, and the rabbit was back there just ripping the cable to shreds. So I ordered 2 more. Rural Fanboy hashtag make Solo 2 happen.
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I think we're good. I think something's happening with Solo on Disney Plus, because they did say there's going to be the 3rd series, and I'll bet you something in the Solo universe is one of the ideas they're bouncing around.
Yeah, man, it's going to be Kira in like a John Wick movie, just full of Terrace Cassie. Boom.
I would watch it.
What would be the dog for her? Like, I'm trying to think of what animals like. What animals were on on Corellia? Those like weird like. What were those dogs that like Madame Proxy guys had?
Yeah. Moloch had some in like a truck or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Why I should have killed the dog.
I just watched Solo the other day. It was the day before our birthday, Brock, because we're twins. Mm-hmm. And Aaron said, "What do you want to watch?" And I was like, "I'm gonna watch Solo." And I watched Solo, and I just was like, I don't know. I just really enjoy that movie. Like from start to finish, I'm always like just all in on it. Except for that one time I fell asleep because it was like midnight and I was really tired. But every other time I'm all in on it. And it just is like, you know what? If Han and Chewie never went on another adventure on screen, I would be okay. I mean, I'd love to see it, but I'd be okay with it. It's for me, it is Maul and Kira is just so fascinating, and there's so much that can happen, and because we know what happens with Maul. That's the thing that makes it even more intriguing is we know what happens to Maul. So how now does he get to that point? That's what I want to know. And is Kira still around in the original trilogy? In the sequel trilogy, is she still lingering around somewhere as like a big crime lord? I don't know. I want to know. Does she get beheaded? I don't know. Do you? I don't know.
Wow, you went dark, man. You went right to the bad.
Dooku got beheaded, so anything is possible in Star Wars.
That's true. That's true. And it's not the Jedi way, and he shouldn't have done that, but he was told to do it. So
do it.
He did it.
Well, Brock, is there an aspect of Solo you would like to see discovered more, or one that you think that people have mentioned that you've heard that you're like, nope, no, thank you?
I thought I read something today, but then it looked like an article that was super old. They're like, oh, Obi-Wan is in the works, but then Darth Maul and Kira are gonna be in it. And I'm like, oh, cool. I always like the idea of like maybe it's not Solo 2, but it's that time period, so it's like Kira or Darth Maul or Boba Fett, and then they're in it. I would love to know more about Dimson. I was gonna say Dimson Kron, Crimson Dawn. Like that's cool. Like more into that. Even if you say like Maul and Kira die off screen, it's just like I've always wanted to explore the underbelly, like see more of Jabba coming up, or just anything. Like let's bring back the bounty hunters that we so love. I know that's Boba Fett, but like let's just go and find out those things because it's always really engaging. Is it a movie? I don't know, but like create some kind of series where it's just the seedy underbelly of the galaxy. I think it'd be fun.
Hey Andrew, message for you as our local Sheevy know-it-all. Did Palpatine care much? Did Palpatine care much about the syndicates? Did he go on the offensive to wipe them out? From Miles McGrew.
In new canon, you know what? I don't think he's ever really brought it up all that much. I know, like back in the day of Legends of like Shadows of the Empire, he was all about like, I want a rapport with Black Sun. You know, I scratch their back, they scratch mine. But in new canon, he doesn't really talk about that much. He goes into just some very obscure sort of dark sidey stuff and nothing about the crime syndicates, as far as I know. I think they're off Sheev's radar.
He just doesn't care about them?
Yeah, or he just hasn't cared about them on screen or on page. I think most of his efforts are trying to find the world between worlds and maybe, you know, set up an Arby's next to the Imperial Palace so he has someplace to eat his lunch.
All of his new canon stuff has been to get him to the point of returning in this next movie. Like that's really, it's been setting this up. We all missed it. Well, we didn't miss it, but we kind of, after Last Jedi, we were all like, that's not happening anymore. Wrong.
Man, I mean, he's there's so many seeds in those books, and now I can't wait to go back and see them and be like, oh, I was a dummy, I didn't realize this. Doing a reread of those novels after Rise of Skywalker is going to be a lot of fun. I hope it'll be a lot of fun. I hope I'll actually catch things and I won't be like, oh, there was no seeds. This was all just a coincidence.
They just show
because that's what Michelle Rejwan is for now, to make sure that's not a coincidence.
They show a deleted scene from like Last Jedi that nobody got, where it's like that scene in Signs, M. Night Shyamalan Signs, where it's at a birthday party, and then they look over in an alley and Palpatine just walks by instead of an alien. Get in water!
Oh my god.
I think I broke Andrew. That's fantastic. Nice.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
I don't think you would. I don't think you would at all. So at Galaxy's Edge, apparently the monkey lizard is like $100. Like nothing is like even remotely affordable there. I can't, Brock, because you're going to be going in at least a year.
Yeah.
Are you going to purchase? Are you going to do the droid building for $100, or are you going to do the lightsaber for $200?
I don't know. I'd rather buy small things, because it's like the droid is really cool. The experience is probably worth $100. But I can't see like because it's got like a remote control, right? And like if a bunch of people buy them, they interact with each other, right? Like, isn't that the whole appeal?
I'm probably not gonna do it, so I haven't looked at it yet.
But like they've already you can make your own little droid when you go to at least Disney Springs in Florida. I'm sure they have in downtown Disney of some sort. Like.
Well,
I'd rather go spend my money on like a kyber crystal or eat like all the food. You know what I mean? Like, because like
but the kyber
I'm going
crystal
to go to Disney multiple times.
The
Like,
kyber crystal works in the lightsaber and the holocron, though.
Ooh, that would be a nice. See there, yeah, holocron. Like I'd rather buy a holocron.
Yeah.
Something that like you can put on if you have an office. You put it on the desk, and people are like, oh, whoa, I didn't know you were into crystals. I'm not. I'm into kyber. It chooses me. I don't choose it.
Mike Freeman saying they've sold 25,000 R2D2s so far. 3 of them.
Wow.
That's 75 grand. But you know what? Niagara Falls Comic Con, there was an R2 unit. I can't remember what his name was. Amazing looking droid. It's on my Instagram. That droid costs 30 grand. So actually, you're getting a good deal at Disney, guys.
Fair enough.
You're getting five grand off. So hold on, and Nessa sent us an email with a list of all these cool information on Galaxy's Edge. We're going to go through that in one of our upcoming podcasts. I have it printed out. Brock and I are going to get I think off the top of my head, I believe it was $42. It's called a Yub Nub, and it is an alcoholic beverage with I think like pineapple juice and I don't know what else, but it sounded like it might be up your alley, Brock. And I was like, it's called Yub Nub. I have to get it. So we're gonna spend all of our money on a Yub Nub.
It's just like an Ewok themed glass, but it's just Dole Whip inside. I'm like, you tricked me again, Disney.
Nessa, shout out to Nessa. She's back here. BB units at Galaxy's Edge have been having major issues and not functioning properly. Disney is already working on fixing those issues. So glad I haven't bought a droid yet.
Like what kind of issues? Like issues at home or just like issues at work or
emotional issues? You don't communicate anymore. Nessa, what kind of issues though for real? Like you just turn them on, they start like knives come out. What's happened here? It's like that horror movie that takes place at Disney is now just about BB units going around killing people.
Hey, Friday night, 5 nights at what's an F name? Freddy. What is a Star Wars name with an F in it?
Five Nights at
Nights at
Frontierland. They aren't starting up again, so it's actually the opposite effect. They're dead.
Oh.
I mean, that sucks, but like, I feel like you buy those droids to kind of just put them on the shelf and like, look at my things. I don't know, but what do I know? I haven't been there yet.
No, Brock, when you go, it's gonna be a disaster for your wallet.
Oh yeah, I mean it's Disney.
Absolutely, I can't wait to go. It's gonna be a disaster. I'm not saying it won't be a disaster on mine. I already told Aaron when we go, there's going to be a few bills set aside for me to build a lightsaber like a 3-year-old and be giddy the entire time. And I hope Kylo Ren walks in on me trying to build it.
All I know is they better be better quality than the ones you could already build when you went to.
Oh yes, no,
like
they are. They're metal. They're metal shafts.
Yeah.
I believe anyone that knows, let me know. But I believe they're metal shafts.
Yeah,
It's plastic like parts and interior, but the shaft is metal, and they have good weight apparently to them as well.
Nice.
I just hope, but you can also buy for $100. You can buy like a character lightsaber as well. And if they don't have Brock, I've said this before on this show. You've been with me at Universal Studios. I did not get the wand I wanted. And if they do not have Kit Fisto's lightsaber, I will walk away. And I will walk away and not look back. And look out, Toy Story Land. I'll be coming for you.
Look out, Cars Adventure.
Yes. But I don't know about the Florida one, but the Orlando one has a giant Woody. Jericho Kane says apostrophe. Or is that a period?
We'll just isolate that audio. Florida has a giant Woody.
It does.
That's a t-shirt.
I'm still mesmerized that that it hit capacity in 1 hour. Like, I thought it'd be quicker than that. I guess they were slow letting people in.
I mean, look at how quickly Celebration tickets sold out. It's so people love the Star Wars. That's my Italian accent. Do you like it? Thank you very much.
Flawless. It is flawless.
Oh, what was that?
Who was that?
Bubbity.
That was your Italian roommate not disagreeing with your accent. Yeah, Celebration. Let's talk about Celebration for a little bit. Brock and I are going. Andrew is staying home and doing the live streams himself this year. Suck it, Andrew. You had all the fun this year. So tickets went on sale at 11, and within, I think it was an hour. So within 2 seconds, the VIP sold out. But that was what it was every time.
Yeah.
And then 4-day passes were in 1 hour. They sold out, which I thought maybe just over. It was something incredible like that. I was busy, Brock. It was both of our birthdays, as we mentioned. So I was like having a good time, not worried about it. I'm like, I'll get it eventually. I'm not gonna panic. And I can't remember how it came out, but I was like, I'll check randomly. And they're like, and I saw a tweet and it said, 4-day pass is 90% sold out. So I was like, oh, I guess I should get on there and buy them. They were gone by the time I clicked on it. But we've secured. We're going though. We're going.
Yeah.
Andrew, are you still planning on going, or are you just gonna cry in a corner like I did this year?
Are you asking me?
Andrew.
I haven't decided. I think I'm gonna try to go for like at least one day. I don't know. I'm still trying to. I think maybe Friday if there's still tickets. I'll see what I can do. But the idea of being in those crowds in California weather in August is already giving me heat stroke.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
it'll be air conditioned inside.
it'll be air conditioned inside, but it'll be full inside. I don't know what the venue is, but McCormick was big.
Yeah.
It was still not big enough.
Galaxy's Edge is across the street from this place,
Yes.
Andrew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question that I don't know because I don't understand theme parks. If I, like, let's say I was a person who just lived in Anaheim, like my house was 10 minutes away, and I just wanted to go to Galaxy's Edge one day, how much does a ticket cost just to get into that park?
Well, it's part of Disneyland's Magic Kingdom, which is like the famous part of Disney, right? It's the castle, right? So in California, it's Sleeping Beauty's castle, and in Florida, it's Cinderella's. So, like, I think roughly tickets are about $100. They're going up in price, of course. But now that the reservations are done, Galaxy's Edge is part of that. So you're buying a ticket to get into Magic Kingdom, but it's like when you go to Animal Kingdom in Orlando, and the Avatar Land is in that park as well. So you're not buying a separate ticket. It's all included. So if you can't get to Galaxy's Edge, you can go to the castle at least, right?
So it's like when you buy a ticket to go to the CNE, you don't have to pay extra to go to the food building. You just walk into the food building.
Correct.
Yay! That's a very Canadian reference. I'm sorry, American fans.
If you go to a TFC game during the exhibition, the soccer team, it's free admission to the exhibition to an extent because you paid a price. Right?
Nobody knows what's happening.
It's not like you're gonna go into the park and then you're like, you can do nothing. you can go to Splash Mountain, you can go to Space Mountain, you can go on the People Mover if they have one there. Yeah, like it's not a total write-off. It's just whatevs.
During peak season in the summer, a Disneyland ticket, says Nessa, is $149 a day. And Miles says poutine. See, I know Canada stuff.
No, yeah.
Aaron took our niece to Canada's Wonderland today. That's our theme park. That's our Disney. And they had a poutine and funnel cake.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a funnel cake with poutine in it, or they had two separate things?
I think a funnel cake is like a dessert version of a poutine anyway. Like it's basically the same. It's like everything's fried. Just fry the food and throw crap on top of it. All right. Sounds good to me. Funnel cake
sound good.
Apparently the whole time she ate the funnel cake, my niece just kept saying how I like funnel cake, and I was like, what's that supposed to, like, I don't think I've ever had a funnel cake, but I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. I mean, I'm sure I like it. It's just dough, deep fried dough. I had a donut for breakfast, so, and strawberries are delicious.
Yeah, I guess it's more or less like a beaver tail.
Sheevy poutine. I've never had a beaver tail actually either.
Ooh, yum yum.
Yeah, I look at them and I say, I'm not paying $8 for a flat donut. Make it a puffy donut, and I'll pay $9. You pay admission again to
I
Disney
think
Park.
right now the only enticing thing about Galaxy, well, not the only, but like the most enticing thing about Galaxy's Edge for me is like those Hondo and Pyre Black Series, and then everything else is like 10 steps underneath that.
Yeah, is that exclusive to the park? Because I don't know if I saw that.
I think so, yeah.
Well, here's a question. Since I think Nessa's still watching, unless she was like poutine and just hung up, or turned. What do you call it when you just end stream? Are the Hondo and Pyre? Cause the Pyre's, I really want that one. Hondo, Pyre. Are those Black Series just in Galaxy? I don't think they are in Galaxy's Edge. Are they? Are they in Galaxy's Edge, or can you get them anywhere in the Disney parks or at the Disney Stream or whatever it's called? The Hollywood, what's it called? Disney Streams, Disney Sparks, Disney.
Oh, Disney Springs,
Disney
but in
Springs.
California it's downtown Disney.
Yeah, downtown Disney. What is it in Universal? It's City Walk. Those places.
City Walk,
I don't care what anyone says. Those places are cheesy and deliciously awesome. I love going to those and just hanging. I'm like, look, King Kong is on the ceiling.
that place that we went to at the City Walk in Orlando, that Mexican restaurant where we ate dinner.
Yeah.
That was a delight. I loved that place.
That was the night before. Was the night before or 2 nights before Celebration? Good times. That's when we all liked each other.
It was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
And then Andrew was like, everybody has to eat the root beer Pop Tarts. I bought a Costco size pack of them.
James and Aaron's left. Let's go to Walgreens now and look at Pops. Look what we bought.
Nessa says, nope. She's still here. The Black Series figures are just available in Galaxy's Edge at the moment, which is weird because I thought everything in Galaxy's Edge was supposed to look like it was built in the Star Wars universe. So do you get like the Kylo Ren and Commander Pyre figures in like the propaganda shop? Do you have to go like, we want to go in the First Order shop and we want to buy propaganda merch? And you got like a shot of like Vader, like, I choose you for the Empire, stuff like that in there. Because otherwise, like, I thought it was all like hand knitted.
There's a new canon planet called Hasbro.
Well, I like when someone's like, well, now Coca-Cola's canon. Relax.
Don't do it. And again. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, well, Nessa probably could tell us better where those action figures are. I envision it as like before you go in, where it's just regular Disney park. It's like, here's the gift stores with just regular merchandise. But, yeah, I don't know.
Here's another dumb question. I don't know if this is legal or not, because a Disney park is the kind of place where you have to pay money to go inside. But can I like Google Earth and walk around the park on like Google and just see what it looks like on my computer? Or
Yeah,
like
you can actually. It's not really the same, but like you can download the app for each park and see like the wait times on stuff. But you can zoom in and see where all the things. It's not like Google Earth. It's a drawing, but like if you're like, hey, is it busy right now at the Millennium Falcon ride? And you're like, oh, 10,000 hours. It'll say it like that. But I think you should. It's not like the White House where it's like, there is no drones allowed to fly over. I think actually in Orlando there's a lake that looks like a Mickey. I can't remember where exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, hidden Mickeys is a whole other thing. Google hidden Mickeys and you'll be like, wow.
Oh, you don't know about hidden Mickeys. You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
I like that. I like little Easter eggs like that. Is there a book about this?
Yes.
That'd be fascinating to read about, like how all the parks are laid out and the hidden stuff and the histories and the rides and the Easter eggs and all that stuff. That I would dig reading something like that.
Yeah, you can buy hidden Mickeys. The book. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think the time has come.
Oh, thank God.
To say goodbye. Brock's got to go to sleep. He's been working all day. It's true. Brock, when do you want to record this week's episode?
Right now. Welcome to the Rebel Scum podcast. I'm Brock York.
Andrew Fantasia.
Oh.
Wait a minute. No, I'm not. I don't know. The music isn't working properly, so everybody, whatever. Andrew, tell everybody about your YouTube channel right now.
My YouTube channel exists, and it's called Andrew Fantasia. And I talk about all kinds of stuff on there. I do movie reviews. I do video essays. I just did a video essay that was also up on Rebel Scum podcast, where it was 10 canon Star Wars games that EA can make today if they only, knew how to make games. Oh,
Ouch.
burn! But watch that if you're a Star Wars fan or a video game fan, because I think it's pretty fun. And there's all kinds of stuff like that on the channel.
And apparently you've played FIFA before, so I don't believe that, but whatever.
I didn't say I've won it, but I have played it.
All right, I'm Brock. We'll be back later this week with episode 131 or 132. What one are we on?
Sure.
It's 130 something this week. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Oh, wait.